Okay, well, we're here on the 9th, is it, Dave, or the 10th maybe of July? 10th.
Oh, no, 9th.
Yeah, 9th of July, and we're in this crop circle in barley, and the sun's just going down, so we haven't got much time. David Caton is here with me, and we're just interested to look at this particular area. First of all, may I show you, that's the centre of the crop circle, but this area here is sort of part laid and part not laid, and it is making me wonder how this could be achieved, because if we come down here and we look at, say, these stems here, these have never been laid, and certainly if we look at those have most definitely never been laid. They're untouched, and yet if we come down into the crop we can see that these stems here have most definitely been laid, and they're actually laid within the crop that is still standing and untouched.
And these look fairly nicely bent.
Yes,
as opposed to it's cracked down.
Yeah, and
that's broken there.
And although it is getting a bit late as far as the light is concerned, I must be honest and say that I haven't actually found any board marks in this formation, which is interesting at least. But as you can see, there are, in this patch of grass here, or wheat, barley rather, the stems are standing, never been flattened, that is for sure. And yet within it are lengths of stem that have most definitely been flattened down. So how can you achieve that, I would say, with a stomping board? I feel that it would be most unlikely to be achieved with a stomping board.
The chance of slots are very narrow.
But yeah, but these are all like almost threaded through, Dave, aren't they? You know, they're it's almost it's like they're, I mean, look down here, look at this here. So these stems here are untouched without a doubt, these are just standing upright, but if we come down inside we can find stems that have been laid in between, going in between this standing. See those down there have been laid, and how that has been achieved, well, I don't really know. It's a bit of a puzzle. So maybe this is the real thing. I don't know. And when we come past this area here, we come into an area where the crop has been mostly laid, but here it's kind of a semi-lay. The crop is standing, you know, partially up, and it's not actually flat to the ground. So I really I'm at a loss to say whether this is a real thing or not, but I certainly haven't found anything as yet which would definitely tell me that this is a man-made formation. So could it be the real thing? I don't know. Let me just walk out of this ring and go into the outer ring over here, and again we can see that the crop is, well, fairly well laid, and then but in this area up at the top, which in some ways corresponds with the with that area, over there, we can see that the stems have not been laid. Interesting. See, look at this here. We have the stems standing upright, and then, but down here we have the stems being laid and sort of woven inside the uprights themselves. And I have to say, I haven't found a single board mark anywhere. So, interesting. Look at this here. You see, you've got alternating, standing and laid, and standing and laid down there, and the laid crop here is going in and through the standing crop. So how the heck is that achieved? Well, it's a bit of a mystery. Again, we have the same sort of thing here. Yes. You see, so this area that's where it's standing mostly, which should actually be laid as part of the pattern, corresponds quite nicely to that area in that first outer circle, which is now perhaps David May, you've found something interesting. Okay, Dave, well oh really? Okay, well that's good. Okay, well I'll come across and we'll have a look and see what that is. Got a lovely shot of the sun going down behind you there. It's really a wonderful place, if nothing else. Yes, absolutely wonderful. And looking across towards Firs Knoll over there. Splendid.
This is reminiscent of that field where the barrows were, although it was a bigger sort of crop, where the stems were bent in a certain way. If you come down here,
okay,
you've got the straight bits, and then there's a little bunch here where they're bent to the right, which they all are, and they're all at the node.
Yes, they're bent at the node, and
which is not a sort of flanking sign, is it?
I wouldn't have said so, Dave. No,
So,
and also they're not straight up, are they? They're almost bent in a horizontal plane.
yes.
So
you've got this effect, and then you've got the heads sometimes,
yes,
like bent.
yeah, like the heads here have come together, and we did notice this effect before, didn't we?
Yes.
In the genuine formation up there on is it North Down.
Yeah, North Down, that's it. And you've got the bend at the node there, and then the bent 90 degrees the opposite way.
Yeah.
Aren't they there?
It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's really very, very interesting, and you know, try as I might, I cannot find any board marks in this one. So I don't know. No, nothing. It's very interesting indeed, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't actually looked at the centre as yet, but I guess if anybody's been around here, they will have been in here. But I don't know, I suppose there's sort of, oh, I don't know, what's this here in the middle? Kind of a swirling thing in the middle here. What's that all about,
Yeah.
Dave?
Yes.
My goodness me. Now that really is interesting, because that looks to me as though it's been incredibly tightly swirled round.
Yes.
And that is very similar to what we had in the old hubcap formation,
Hubcap,
Dave, isn't it?
precisely, yeah.
Doesn't it remind you of that?
It does.
So, to me, that is certainly indicative of energy. Get steady on, Dave.
It's alright, I'm just seeing yes, it's tightly packed.
Very tight, yeah. I was going to say that this is so good that I don't know if we could save it maybe as an example. It might be worth having if you know what I mean. It's but I mean that is incredibly. The I would say energy has whirled this round at a heck of a speed and tightly wound it. It's that, you know, that looks really tightly wound there. Wow, that looks really good, Dave. Yeah, wherever you look.
The flow's not bad.
No, no, absolutely it's not. Absolutely not. That looks really great.
Same bang in the middle.
Look at this here. It's just coming round so tight. Look at that, incredible. Yeah, I must say, I have a feeling that this is the real thing, Dave.
Well, we haven't found any contrary evidence.
I haven't found anything to the contrary. Not a blinking thing. So,
The sweep and the right sweep.
yeah, it flows nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it could well be. My goodness me. Quite a day. Yeah, I mean, I like the way that it you know, it doesn't look to me like it's just been flattened down, does it? You know?
No. The barley often isn't anyway, is it?
It is. Yes. Yes.
It's
That's.
probably flattened down a bit since it was done.
Yes.
2 weeks or so, isn't it?
Yep.
3 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
It was down.
Yeah. I imagine so. But I you know, I wouldn't have thought, Dave, that there's been a great deal of phototropism gone on here, because it's been such a dry summer that I would have thought this stuff was pretty dry when it went down, if you like.
Yeah.
So not much moisture in the stems, you know, in order to, you know, have the wherewithal, the elasticity in the stem to, you know, to bend.
Yes.
So, yeah, the more I look at it, the more I like it. Yeah. What about this area over here? I mean, obviously, well, that's the edge of the circle actually encroaches on the tractor line, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
And that green is growing simply because there's a bit more moisture in the tractor line area, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's not a problem. But yeah, absolutely wonderful. Now the only thing I haven't looked at is the extreme outer circle, I think. So I'll just have a quick look at that. So it's really getting quite dark now, but we can see this is the extreme outer ring, and again we have some strange laying here, and then we come to this area where again the crop is still standing, and as I say, like these stems here have not been touched, and yet in between there are stems like down here that have been laid in between the standing stems, and it's the same all the way up here. Wherever we come to the tram lines, we get this effect of the green. But I mean, look, even here, imagine, I mean, if you're coming up here with a stomping board, you're coming in a straight line. But these stems are laid across the line, going over here, and look at the seed heads, how they come together here. It's beautiful. Not the kind of thing I wouldn't have thought you would do. And then, so those are coming over in this direction to the left, and then these are coming round and over here and swirling over to the right. My goodness, I don't know. So it's a real swirly effect. I mean, I look at these here. Imagine you're coming through, you're stomping this flat, and you would go straight up with the stomping board, but these are going in that direction, fine, but those over there are going over to the right, and these over here are to the extreme right. This lot here are going straight across to the edge of the ring. I don't know. It looks, and these are really quite well held together somehow. It looks very strange to me, and the same thing applies here. They're going from left to right across the lay until they hit the wall, and then this lot here are going from this middle section across and hitting that wall. Now that's not what would happen with the stomping board, because with a stomping board it would just be going straight up the line, straight up that way. But we've got them going straight across. We've got these going over in this direction. Wow, it really is something. And again, when we come up to the top of the circle, we find there's an area here where the stems have not been touched. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's just never been laid at all. And yet, in between the stems, we've got laid crop down there, right down. I mean, that's flat to the ground. How the devil do you manage to do that? That's quite remarkable. Yeah, how can you lay it flat in between the stems without touching these? I don't know, maybe I'm being kiddied here, but I can't understand how this can be done. And it's interesting that this top part of the circle up here, where we have these standing stems, is directly in a line with the other parts. And there we go, look at those. And if we come, I mean, that's a big patch of standing crop untouched, but look inside here and we'll find stems that are laid completely flat, and there's only a handful of them there. There's only about maybe 7 or 8 stems. So how the devil can you do that? I think this is the real thing. Well, gee whiz. See, all these not properly laid stems correspond exactly with the not properly laid stems in the 2 circles down there, and the centre. So well, I think it's incredible, frankly. Again, we have the same effect where the crop is being laid from the left hand side over here, and it's coming across down here heading for the side of the circle. I mean, this is this here sort of buried itself in the sidewall. Look at that, how beautifully that has done that. If I can just pick it up a bit better than that, maybe. Wow, just look at that. It's almost like a wig. It's beautiful, absolutely, how those stems have come together like that. So wow, I think that is something special. Now look at this one here. These are going up across the circle. Those are going down instead of going straight along this line which I'm walking now. Look at this lot here again. That's very interesting. You have the tractor line here, which I'm standing in. You have the green plants which are not touched. I mean, plants in tractor lines often aren't. But then we've got this gradual laying down. So those are a bit higher, and this is coming down more and more and more and more until it gets down to this point where some of the crop is properly laid. Then we get the green stems again, which do show signs of phototropism, which is quite normal. And again we have the same thing again. It's not just plants in the edge. I mean look at these stems here. These are fully ripe dry stems, and quite obviously if you were coming along with the stomping board, you would hit these stems and knock them down, and these wouldn't come up again. They would still be down. Yeah, the green stems would, because of phototropism, but there they are, they're standing and they've not been touched, so they've obviously not been hit with a stomping board. And look at this here. I mean, that's the line of the outer circle, and yet the stems are being laid acrossways, virtually a right angle almost, or at least, you know, pretty close to it, coming across to the edge of the circle, and then when they hit the edge of the circle, bending round like so gracefully. Yeah, goodness me, I think I could spend half a day in here. But anyway, I'm delighted to have been in. It's going a bit dark now, so we better get out. But yeah, look at this lot here. See, all these stems here have not been touched. They've never been laid with the stomping board. And yet if I dive inside here, we've got stems that are, you know, completely, well, almost completely flat to the ground. It's quite amazing. Yeah. How would you achieve that? I don't know. I have a feeling it's energy. Well, Dave, I think that was I think that's really something.
The transition, where you get the weaving effect.
Yeah,
weaving, you know,
yeah.
Slightly different. Then it's like, forgive me the joke from those there, the batteries have run out a bit.
Oh yes.
The energy, and it's
Yeah.
not done a complete job right through.
Yeah, it's amazing how the crop has laid from side to side in places, rather than straight down the line of the circle, which you would expect it to be if it was stomping boards.
If the boys have done this is the first time in years they've stumped us, isn't it?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I think this. If I was going to say, is it real? I would say yes.
We're holding our hand up, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah,
If it's board mark job, they're getting down good. And
yeah, yeah.
if we're wrong, we're wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm going to go. It's a yes from me and a yes from you, so it's two. You've got not 4 yeses, but you've got 2 yeses at least, Dave. Okay, so I think that'll do for tonight. So as you can see from the lights on the cars, going down the main road from Beckhampton to Devizes, it really is getting quite dark here, and it's time we made our way back to the car over there.
We need radar to get back.
Yes, we will. Yeah, wonderful. What a marvellous day.
Good things.